Hello everyone, thank you very much for joining us today for the TP-Link Omada Central webinar. Today we're just going to be discussing obviously Omada Central, what features it has, and just basic Omada introduction for everyone to see what Omada is and obviously what Omada Central is.
Hello everyone, nice to meet you guys. This is Dennis.
I'm Zain, I'm Technical Sales Manager at TP-Link. I'll be also assisting through the webinar, showing how to set up basically your devices on Omada Central and showcasing some of the new features. Okay, I think we'll get started with the presentation if you guys are ready with our PowerPoint slides.
Yeah, let's get started. So we're going to first go through the presentation. Okay, we're just going to, like I mentioned, we're just going to discuss a few things about TP-Link Omada and Omada Central. And then Zain is going to do a live demonstration for us. At the end of this, there will be a giveaway. There will be 4 EAPs given away. There will be a QR code to scan. It's just going to take you to a Google Sheet where you can just fill in information. And then by next week, Friday, we will do another video where we will show the draw. And then we will get the information of the people who won and send them their free devices. Okay. So as mentioned, this is Dennis.
Hello.
He's the product specialist here at TP-Link South Africa. Then there's Zain, technical sales, and obviously me as well, technical sales. Okay, so let's get this started. So we're just going to go through a bit of introduction on TP-Link and the overview. So we're not going to go in too much detail on it, but the company was established in 1996. And then in 2010, we were recognized as the world #1 in the WLAN market by the IDC. So that is quite an achievement for TP-Link. In 2020 is when we first launched Omada SDN. We will go through what an SDN is. And VG was launched in Q3, Omada in Q2. And then if you look at 2025, that was when, beginning of this year is when we launched Omada Central, which, like I mentioned, we will be discussing what exactly Omada Central is. Okay, just a bit of information, just to show you guys, TP-Link does have the R&D centers and quite a lot of existing people that are dedicated to R&D and development. Okay. So, Omada is a SDN. So what is an SDN? SDN is a software-defined network. Basically, it is just software-based networking where we can actually pull in a lot of networking equipment where we can monitor, manage, and see performance of devices through the SDN under one platform. So it is, in a sense, a centralized networking monitoring software. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but we will leave this on and we will upload this video after the stream so that everybody can go through it if they want to view it. But we're just going to discuss a few key concepts of SDN. So like I mentioned, centralized control, abstraction, flexibility and scalability, programmability, and with our SDN, we actually do offer open APIs. Some benefits of SDN: improved network management, really makes it much easier just to manage your network, see what devices are on there, see your clients that's on there, and as well as their performance and their uptime. Then we look at cost reduction. Obviously, this makes just in the sense of where we can manage everything centrally, especially for clients, for installers, where they can obviously monitor all the equipment from a remote site and actually be able to then reduce costs of having to go send someone out just to reboot a switch or reboot AP. So in that sense, they can just do that all online. Increased network agility, just faster adaptation and changing network requirements. So it's much easier just to configure everything from one centralized spot instead of logging into every single device, configuring everything. and then going to each device where you can just do everything centralized. And then enhanced network performance. Obviously, from the SDN side, it does run some checks and just a few things just to check and see what's going on. So improved health as well. Okay, so then Omada. What is Omada? So Omada is TP-Link's SDN software. And that's obviously just the modern way of managing your all the products that we offer from the Omada side. So I'm also going to discuss a bit about what products we have, but just for now, controller type. So we have a cloud-based controller. We have a free option, which is Cloud Essentials, and we also do have a standard option. We offer on-premises software, so software is completely free. It is just the SDN that you install on a PC or a server that is running all the time, and that is free for you to install and manage unlimited devices. Then we also have on-premises hardware. This is basically just a hardware device that is connected up to the network, and from there you can do the same essentially as what you can do with either the software or with the standard cloud controller. On the management scalability, cloud-based, so the unlimited devices on the cloud-based, that is on both the essentials and the standard. On the software, unlimited devices, but why we say recommend under 10,000 devices is because it is dependent on the hardware of the PC or the server that you're running it on. Then the hardware controllers, there's a few options, like the OC400 can take up to 1,000 APs, and then the smallest one we have, which is the OC200, and the newer one that we're going to be bringing out, the 220, which is then obviously just 100 APs. Okay, and then management devices that you can manage. So you can manage the access points, the managed switches, and now gateways. Okay, so the Omada ecosystem. What consists of the Omada ecosystem? So first of all, Omada access points. We're going to just quickly look. We're not going to go into too much detail about all the devices and everything. We're just going to kind of do like a scenario based. So we do offer indoor APs. So we've got the ceiling mount APs, as well as the in-room or in-wall wall plate APs, depending on what you like to call them. We do offer outdoor APs, high density APs, which just increases the density of the amount of people that can connect to it. That is a mistake. Then we do have a ultra reach, not another high density, which actually just covers large areas. GPON as well. We do offer GPON on our Omada, which will then obviously integrate with the OLT from Omada as well. And then last, we actually do offer mesh extender units. This all can be managed by Omada. Okay, just a few examples. For example, if we look at the EAP 2, 6, or 7 XX, that's basically just to go to HD. So there's the high density areas like offices, campuses, stadiums, things like that. We do offer both in all Wi-Fi 5, 6, and 7, ceiling or wall mount, and it does support PoE. As well as, like, for example, the wall plate EAP, like that's once again just hotel rooms, dormitories, MDUs, multi-dwelling units. Those are Wi-Fi 5 and Wi-Fi 6, and we are going to be launching a Wi-Fi 7 unit as well. That is just the wall plate one. Okay. Bridge kits. We have quite a few options. I'm not going to go through everything. We want to get to the nice part, which is the features of Omada, but we just like to introduce obviously the equipment. For example, we have the EAP 103 bridge kit, which all of the units you can actually see does have 3 ports. Once again, I do see a mistake. The EAP 225 bridge only has 1 port.
Correct.
That is just something that I might have missed. But yeah, the 103 bridge kit, that's a 500 meter unit, 300 megs on the wireless connection. That is a 2.4 gigahertz device. this is something we did notice a lot of our newer devices. So you can see that that one does support 802.3 AF for the PoE and 24 volt passive and 48 volt passive. The other units at the moment don't support the 802.3 AF, but with our version 3, they will actually be supporting the normal standard PoE. Okay.
Pancho, I just want to add, we will be launching Wi-Fi 7 bridge kits in about a few months from now. These are going to be our EAP 765 UR. That's going to be your long-range bridge kit. If I remember correctly, the range is anything from 15 up to 20 kilometers. That will be launching only sometime in 2025. When we have more information, it will be shared with you guys.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Shane. Okay, this is just to show you the configuration, obviously, of the bridge kits. We do offer point-to-point solution. Well, they all do point-to-point, or they do point-to-multi-point. If you're using a point-to-point, the bridge kits are already pre-configured out of the box, so you can basically just take them, set them up, make sure they're pointing at each other, and it will automatically establish the connection and start sending data through. No configuration needed. It just works. We also do offer on the same devices a point-to-multi-point. That does require a bit of configuration. You would need to take one AP, configure it as the main AP, and then you just take the other devices and set them up as client APs. Now, this is really easy to set up. You do just log into the device. Once you connect to it by using the default username and password, it will actually then pop up in a quick setup guide, and you can just select that you want to set up as a client AP. We can add 8 clients to one main AP, so that is also an option for up to 8. The smaller units, they actually do have a 30-degree sector, and some of the bigger ones do a 70-degree sector. So it does give you the option to have a bit of a wide-ish connection. Okay, next we're going to look at the Omada switches. On the switches, we have recently changed our series of how we're looking at how we're placing our switch series. First, we have our campus series. Here we have our Access Max, Access Pro, Access Plus, Access, Agile, and then our unmanaged series. Okay, I don't want to bore you guys too much with all the technical details of it, but once again, this information will be available for you guys to view later. Okay, then just a key item that I'd like to mention out of the series of our switches. Here we have our SG2005P-PD. This unit is actually a PoE device, so it gets powered by PoE. Zane is going to be bringing one for us to show you guys
how small it actually is.
So you can see it's a really nice small device. This device is, like I mentioned, powered by PoE, and it will give PoE out. So you just need PoE++ to power the device, and then it has 4 PoE plus out ports. Obviously, if the device is high powered, it will drain the the budget of the unit. So if you're using 2 maybe biggish cameras, you might not get PoE on the other 2 ports, but obviously the solution is still there to work at least with the 4 PoE out ports. Okay, next we're going to look at the Omada routers. Yeah, this is a lot to go through. I just want to mention a few key items, a few key units that stand out quite a lot. For example, the ER706W. This is a gigabit router with up to 5 WAN ports. So you can actually have a backup of 4 extra WAN connections. This has built-in wireless as well. This is the Wi-Fi 6, so it's up to 3,000 megabytes a second on the wireless, and it is a desktop desktop router. Okay, so here's just some specs of it. We will go through, like I mentioned, we will go more through the Omada features rather than going through all of the router features and stuff. Another key one is the ER706WP 4G. This is obviously, as the name says, a 4G device. And as you can see, it has two SIM card slots. So you can have, on this device, you can add the two SIM card slots to it. I don't know why I didn't change the one there. But you can basically have a failover if you're only using the LTE side. What's nice about that is you can set up load balancing with one SIM card and one WAN port, but unfortunately not on both SIM cards. So the two SIM card slots only function as a failover, not you can't do the load balancing on it. But when you are configuring, for example, it in with the 4G SIM card and a WAN connection, you can set up prioritized priority routing, and you can actually then dedicate some applications, things like that, to maybe, let's say, YouTube, to your things that eat a lot of bandwidth. You can dedicate that rather to the WAN port, and then more delicate like email, you can then allocate that to the SIM card, depending obviously on the speeds that you are getting from either or. Okay, then like I mentioned before, the Omada controllers. So first of all, we're going to look at the cloud controllers. This is Omada Essentials. It is lifetime free. You do get majority, I would say about 85% of the functionality as that you get with the Omada standard. So it's not a big loss. There is just a few key items that does fall part of the cloud standard. But just a few key things, like I mentioned, it is completely free. It exists entirely in the cloud, so there's no need for any hardware or software controllers. This, once again, is centralized, managed, and we do have an app which you can use then to manage it from your phone as well. Okay, then we've got the cloud standard, so just advanced functions for professionals and comprehensive network settings. This also exists entirely in the cloud. Then we have our on-premise controllers, which is the hardware and the software. The hardware obviously doesn't need a PC to keep running. As long as the hardware controller is connected to the network and running, it will then stay up. We also do offer the OC200, which is actually PoE powered. So you can just power it from the switch, so it doesn't need a separate power supply for you to then add another UPS or something. If the switch is in your cabinet and the cabinet is running off of a UPS, you know that your controller will also be online all the time. Okay, then we've got the software controller. Like I mentioned before, that's just the software that you install on to your PC, and you can get the same functionality as that you get with the cloud standard.
So, I actually got an interesting thing to add to the software controller. So we had an end user ask if you're ever going to do a wireless controller. So yes, okay, you can with a software controller. You just need to install a wireless card or a wireless USB dongle. The client did that. He was very happy with the performance, and it's actually running perfectly. For anyone that was wondering how to get rid of the wires or how to lessen the wires, I could also use as an option on a machine, on a PC with a software controller. Just a little interesting fact I thought I would mention out there.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Zane. Okay, I'm not going to bore you guys once again with all of this. There is just a few things that I'd like to cover, just so you guys can see basically what is available from Omada Cloud Essentials. One big thing is on the portal authentication. We actually do still have portal authentication, where you can create a landing page and you can then create a one-time PIN or have certain user account created. So you still have access to that on the Omada Cloud Essentials. However, when we move over to the standard, we actually do get a lot more For example, we get external portal services, external radius services. So those things can then help you improve the experience of your standard portal authentication. So if it's for a small business, a coffee shop where you just want to use a one-time PIN, then that's perfect. The Cloud Essentials works perfectly. If it is a more of an integration side of things where you'd like to add more functionality, maybe, like I said, an external radius server, that would then obviously require you to have a Omada standard license.
What I can also add to this, we do have a partner called My Wi-Fi. If you're ever in a situation where you want to sell your guest Wi-Fi to make a bit of extra profit or extra margins, you can reach out to My Wi-Fi to get activation to the external portal server. It's quite easy to set up. It currently only works with hardware controllers and software controllers. We're getting it on a page or stating we're going to test it with the cloud-based controller, but it's not final as of yet. If there's any progress before our next update session, we'll let you guys know, and hopefully it's implemented by then so you guys can use it on the cloud controller as well. That's all from my side.
Perfect. Cool. One last thing. I just want to see where this is going. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So now obviously, I'm pretty sure the question might have come up, or some of you maybe were thinking, if you have a software or a hardware controller, now you can't add it, now you can't manage it from the cloud. However, you can then connect that hardware or software controller to the cloud as, if you look at it in this sense, when you're using the hardware and the software controller, you get all the functionality that you get from the Omada standard. So if you're using the hardware controller, you can connect it up to the cloud and you have that kind of, a backup. If something happens on TP-Link side with the cloud, you know for sure that you've got the software or the hardware controller. Nothing is going to happen. Your equipment will will stay up and will keep running with no issues. So with this, yes, you can still add it to the cloud for that cloud management. And once again, we do have the app, Omada app, and through the web browser. Okay, so just looking at our hardware controllers, like I mentioned before, the OC200, we've got the OC220, OC300, and OC400. Now, the difference between these is just the amount of devices that is supported. For the OC200, for example, it takes 100 APs, 20 switches, and 10 gateways. So that is a nice option to, for small little homes or small businesses, things like that, to add it in. And then on the OC400 side, the bigger one, that's 1,000 APs, 200 switches, and 100 gateways. Now, so if you can look at it in a different way of basically adding the controllers. If you're going for the smaller ones, that would be either small businesses, or if you're doing like multiple site installs. However, with the OC400, it is still possible to add that to the cloud. That will be your controller. So under the controller, you can still create different sites. So it is not limited to one site. It just does require a little bit of more configuration on the equipment side. However, we do support options like advanced DHCP options, where from your DHCP server, when you set it up, you can actually push those settings through the device, and it will actually then automatically scan for the controller to connect. And then once you open the controller, from there you'll be able to see the devices and adopt them. So it is a possibility to do that. The software controller, once again, it is just a bit more, like you can see, everything is mainly the same. The only thing that is the management side of it. And then on the Open API side, the only one that doesn't support it is the OC200. So you still have the option available on all the other hardware controllers and the software controller. Okay, just a little thing. This is really interesting just to show. With the Omada app, you can actually do quite a lot of things. You can monitor your traffic. You can see what applications have been using what data, how much data on it, and you can actually once again see like your device health, your device statuses, who's online, From the phone, you can kick devices if you see them on the Wi-Fi and you want to remove them. That all is possible from the app. Okay, now let's get to the actual part of the webinar. So what is Omada Central? Omada Central is our unified management platform with networking and surveillance. So you can take your VG, TP-Link VG, and you can add that into Omada Central for a one platform management. So you can manage everything from TP-Link on the Omada and VG side, all off of Omada Central. Okay, that's what I just discussed. But yeah, you can do live views, you can do playbacks, you can do the AI search. There's a lot of things that you can actually do from there, and we'll go through all of those in a bit. Well, now. Okay, so first, streamline management and enhanced operational visibility. So multi-user privilege assignment and flexible management. You can take this and you can easily assign users' rights and roles based off of what their job title is. For example, if you are sharing to a security guard, you can basically just share it with access to only external cameras. You don't have to include internal cameras, things like that. So you can easily manage all that and configure it and set it up. Then practical sitemap. So you can actually plot your devices or your sites. You can plot your sites on a Google map, so you can see a good overview. That's just obviously easier to manage. If there's something wrong with the site, it will then show red, so you can actually see which site is offline or has errors on it. Okay, effortless setup and easy management. So on-site or remote, easy on-site management. Once you're on-site, you can see it will automatically detect devices. This is not only on the networking side, it will actually detect it on the VG side as well. So it will pick up all the devices, easy for you to add them in. You adopt the devices, and because we're using the SDN, it will just automatically adopt our settings that we have pre-configured. Okay, we also have our easy remote setup with zero-touch provisioning, where you can pre-configure the devices. So you can pre-configure the site, scanning the devices. Once you install it on site and it connects to the internet, it will then automatically add itself to the cloud and then configure the devices from the settings that we have added to the cloud. Optimize deployment and performance at your fingertips. On the switches, we do a maximum of 250 meters PoE for easy camera deployment. Obviously, this does take away from the PoE budget of the switch. If you are if you have a very long run, that will use extra power from the switch side, which will then take away from the overall PoE budget. But it does allow the cables to run up to 250 meters. One-click security and quality enhancement, quality of service, very easy to configure. You can basically just go on a port and you can then configure the VLANs, you can configure the QoS, all by just a click of a button.
Francois, I also want to mention on the slide. So you'll see on the side it says, if you do extend your PoE to 250 meters, please note that the port's going to be limited to 10 megabytes per second. What that means in real world use cases is you can't put a 4K video camera on there and expect to get perfect image quality. So use it for up to, I would say, a 4 megapixel camera on a low resolution, you'll be fine. And this will be a valuable way to use more cable and make the deployments a bit easier. So just keep that in mind when you do use PoE extension on all of our switches, please. And that's all I have to add to it.
Perfect, thanks. Okay, smarter troubleshooting and maintenance. Troubleshoot in one system to save time. Like I mentioned, it is from one platform. So there's not logging into Omada and then logging into 3G VMS. You basically log to one platform, and from there you can then see all the devices, see all the problems, the issues, and resolve them from Omada Central. Automatic topology and quick troubleshooting. So it will actually bring up the topology of the devices, so the router, the switches, the APs, and obviously the cameras now and the NVRs. So it will show you the topology, so it's easier to figure out where the device is having an issue, because it will show you if there is a uplink failure, or if it's a singular from the switch to the camera. It will actually show you where that connection drop is. And also remote camera reboot. This basically can also work for the APs. Once you log into, you can actually then reboot the port, or we have added in the PoE watchguard, and that will monitor a camera or an AP. If that device stops sending data but is still powered, what it will do is it will automatically turn the port off and back on to give the device a little bit of a reset. But yeah, so that is obviously possible for you to do from the app, or if it does pick up in a sense where it just picks up no data, it will do it itself. Okay, smarter troubleshooting and maintenance. Camera offline alarm, so it will notify you when there is a camera that went offline. Cable test, so you can run a cable test from the app, and it will actually tell you, for example, the link is disconnected, please check. Or if the cable length is quite long, it will actually give you the cable length, and it will give you more of a, like, for example, if the cable isn't crimped properly, it won't tell you that, but it will tell you that the cable is running, for example, at 10100. Then you know that either there's a fault in the cable or it's not crimped properly, so you can just inspect that specific cable just to see if there's an issue there. Then we've got our access logs and our alarms. This, you can see all the faults on the Omada guard side, which is the camera side of the Omada. You can actually get, for example, if it picks up like an intruder or things like that, it will actually then show you on the app that there was someone picked up. Then also integrated troubleshooting tools. We've got SSH, packet capture, network diagnostics, and audit logs for efficient debugging. So we have all the tools available for you to easily troubleshoot the network. Okay, advanced monitoring and event control. So cross-site live view and playback. Like I mentioned before, yes, you can do the live views, you can do playbacks from here. This obviously, for playbacks, you would need an NVR that would run the recordings, and then from there you'll be able to view the footage. Then precise event management in Event Center. All our cameras are AI, so you can actually quickly filter through human and vehicle detection with as well some of our advanced cameras. You can run a smart analytic search where you can say, for example, male, white shirt, black pants, and it will actually go through the footage, search for all the matching descriptions, and then list you wherever those specifics were found. Okay, yeah, so AI enhanced video monitoring, like I mentioned, and we also do people counting with multi-store customer flow analytics. So it's not just a single, for example, a single instance. You can set it up at multiple stores, all managed from one app, and it will give you a people counting flow of each individual shop to see, obviously, what shop is busier, what times are busier. If you're running a big chain store where you have lots of cashiers, and there's certain times that are busy, certain times are quiet. You can try and analyze when you need more staff and when you need less staff. Okay, then the Omada design tools. So we have for the design, for the CCTV design, we have the design tool there as well, where you can plot your cameras. You can actually see what kind of quality you're going to be getting, how the cameras are going to be tilted in on the floor plan. And we also have the design tool for Wi-Fi, so you can visualize your Wi-Fi coverage. There is something new that is going to be coming, which is going to be our Omada design tool, which will then integrate these two tools together. So once we have more information on that, we will be doing a separate video just to show you guys how the tool works. Okay, then we're going to look at some use cases for Omada Central. Retail stores, franchises. So just a few key things: centralized Wi-Fi management. When you have multiple stores, multiple franchises, you can then configure all of those items together, and you can have a centralized point of management and same SSID across all stores. So when employees move over from one store to another store, they automatically have connection to the network. There's no need for new connecting laptops back up again, things like that. Centralized CCTV recordings and live monitorings. This can all be done once again from the main branch, where they can have a dedicated room set up for monitoring, for viewing all the footage and doing the playbacks. Uninterrupted operations. So loop prevention. Loop prevention, basically when we have a loop in the network, it will pick up the loop and it will actually detect it and then stop it. So it will block the port where the loop is on, and it will notify you so that you know where the loop is, and it's easy to go and unplug the loop. Hospitality, like I mentioned before, we have the customized guest portal and flexible authentication. So first of all, like I mentioned, you can give one-time pins to your clients or to clients. You can sell it. You can set up your own system. Do you want to do it time-based? So if they're on there for an hour, it will then kick them off, or you can do it on a data quota. So if you want to give them 1 gig, they can use 1 gig, and then it will kick them off. On our side, obviously, there's no integration. Well, just plainly on our side, there's no integration with anything like payment portals or things like that. But if it is a small coffee shop, you can give access to the receptionist or someone there just to generate a few one-time pins. You can place them in a box or something and just manage them by like saying this one's 10 Rand, that one's 20 Rand, things like that. So that is also possible. Sell the one-time pins, you give them a voucher. You can print out vouchers from Omada as well. And yeah, you can hand them out and give your clients some Wi-Fi. Seamless and uninterrupted roaming. So with the Omada, you actually have seamless roaming, which you can configure from once you've added all the devices. It will actually automatically do that. It will create one unified SSID, and from there you can then walk from one AP to another AP without losing connection or dropping phone calls, things like that. Robust security and data privacy. So on our side, you can create VLANs, and you can create, you can do client isolation. So when there is, for example, clients that's on the network, they won't be physically on this, well, they'll be physically on the same network, but through a VLAN, they will be isolated. And what you can do is you can set up in like either all staff members have their own VLAN, and then if there's any guest network or guest connections, those guests will be on their specific own network. So they won't be able to see any other devices that is connected. So it's just the increased security for clients connecting to it. Okay, warehouse and distribution. A dedicated and reliable OT device connectivity. So once again, just some more QoS. What is really nice about this is that we have like high density units. We have the ultra reach units, so very nice for big warehouses that quite stretches far. So you can have less APs covering a bigger space. Robust and widespread wireless coverage, like I mentioned, with the ultra range units, you can go quite a distance. Simplified management and agile network scalability. This is unlimited scalability, as I mentioned before, so you can add up to unlimited amount of APs, switches, and routers to Omada. Okay, now I'm going to give over to Zane, so he can start with the live demonstration. I think he's just going to show you guys a utility that we have, and as well as just obviously a little bit about Omada Central.
Yeah, so actually show it live, and we hopefully going to run into some issues with this, so we can troubleshoot together as a team. Okay, let me just see if I can get to the desktop display here.
Yeah.
Sorry for the black screen, guys.
Yeah, so
That's why I'm just going to ask Francois for help. He's our expert here with my broadcasting software. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Thank you, Francois. Okay, so first, this tool you can download very simply. You just Google the name. We use Omada Discovery Utility. This will help you with new deployments, be it anywhere. I'll show you now why to as is, but you just download it from here. It gets updated about maybe a few months. As you can see down below, we have all the versions. So what I'm going to do next is extract this so we can run it. This does use JRE 17, unfortunately, so you have to have Java installed on your machine. We'll find out if that's not the case or not. So we just say discovery tool. And we can drag the contents from the zip folder right into there. Okay, unfortunately, you have to run it by the bat file or the sh file, depending if you're on Linux or on Windows. We're on Windows, so we're going to run the sh file. Sorry, the bat file rather. It will warn you, it's not a signed program as of yet. Okay, so here we have an issue. This user has not installed Java. This is a very easy fix. If you do encounter this error, you just do the following. Java 17, JRE, download. Oh, sorry, man, switch teams by accident there. There we go, we're back. Okay, so we're going to download the top one, it's perfectly fine. Normally, I would always recommend you take the installer or the MSI installer. That is up to your own choice. Just wait for this to download quite quickly. Then we shall install it. Back out of this program so long, get this set up, So Java takes a few minutes to install, but it is quite worthwhile. We'll show the shortcut benefits of this shortly. And you'll also need this if you ever run the software controller. So now it should launch successfully. There we go. Takes a few seconds to pop up. So what this utility does, it scans your whole network for any Omada devices that have not been configured as of yet, depending if you're on the same network or not. I have to check if Francois is on the same network. He's not, so we might not be able to discover all the devices, but that's fine, there's a way around it. Yeah. This might drop the stream. So apologies if we do disconnect for a second or there is some frame loss. Okay. Doesn't look like we dropped any packets, which is excellent. As you can see, you're already device pending. We've got a 245, which is a Wi-Fi House series square AP, and the 650, and there's even one of these guys that we showed off earlier that we can configure. So how do you configure them? Very easy. You click on manage. It asks you a few questions. So normally if you reset the device, the username and password will always be admin. The inform URL is going to be your cloud inform URL. Where you find that is quite easy. You're going to log into Omada Cloud. So basically you're going to come here, you're going to type that in at the bottom top. Wait for the whole page to reload. Make sure cloud-based system was selected. We're going to add this to our HQ lab. I just want to copy the site URL as well. It should load in a few seconds. There we go. So these three dots here, you click on it and you just say, copy site isn't correct. Sorry guys, we're going to have to do it this way. Basically the URL you're looking for is this one. That's the long string. You're going to need this for it to inform on the URL. You'll say under devices if anything is pending to be adopted or not, as well as if you go to add devices if it picks anything up or not. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Like now it's not finding anything, which is fine. We can solve that. So I'm going to take that URL I just did, copied, paste it in there. We know the username is admin and we know the password is admin. We're going to apply it and give it a few seconds to roll those changes out. It will give you feedback at the top. To also monitor it, we can come in here and refresh this page every now and then. Settings succeeded, meaning it did take a setting successful, meaning we can move on to the second device. Or you can do a batch option, but at this point, I'm not going to take chances with it. This is for the EAP 650. And you'll see it doesn't allow you to go OK before it says settings succeeded. Only then it will allow you to close the window. This I'm going to leave out for now. Let's try to get those two EAPs online first. So now if I go to add devices, it should either show up there or to find. One's already been picked up, so we can apply and adopt that into our new site. Sometimes it's does. I didn't. Thank you, Contra. There we go. And there you see the second one pop up as well. Brilliant timing. We apply changes to both of these. As it says, it will take a couple of minutes. You just have to bear with it because now it's going to apply all your WLAN settings you already got in your controller. That's going to be applied to both EAPs automatically. You can go in and change what SSID is assigned to which EAP, but that's more for a future guide for future reference. That's more something that's more advanced. For now, we just want to show how easy it is to get something set up from nothing.
Yeah, so I just want to mention that it does seem like there's a long process to adding it, but this is because we are physically on two different networks. So obviously we don't have the discoveries through it. So still in that sense, this is then really easy actual configuration from the Omada discovery tool.
That is correct. As you can see, our devices are already connected and adopted. That's how easy it is, guys. Make sure you make use of this tool. It will help you a lot with new installs. Just make sure you're on the same network, be it via Wi-Fi or wired, it doesn't matter. Just be on the same network. So now if you want to take chances, you can try adopt this as well. I'm not sure if this unit has been reset or not. We still have the inform URL. We're going to say admin again. We're going to apply and see what goes through. So we're still keeping an eye on the top status. Usually if it takes this long, it means something isn't right, meaning this unit needs to be reset again to be on the defaults. But we'll see. Let's give it some time. That's advising settings succeeded. So settings took effect. So I have to wait for a bit for it to show up here. So it can take up to 3 minutes to inform. Don't be too concerned if your devices don't appear within the first minute or 30 seconds. It depends how busy our cloud environment is. And remember, these data centers are hosted all the way in Europe. So there is some latency to keep in consideration as well when using the cloud-based controllers. But in saying that, you always know there's a backup. Should one controller or server go down, it doesn't mean you're going to lose everything. There's a backup for every system in place. And there we go. You can just apply and we'll be at it. Sorry, select the side again. Okay, like I said, take a few minutes. And that's how you add devices on Omada Central. You see all the devices listed here. Nothing too fancy. We can go back to the dashboard. We can actually go into the site. This will give you some more configuration options. It will give you a bit more oversight over your whole network. And then after this, we're going to move on to Omada Guard, which is quite interesting. But what I want to showcase here is a new topology of Omada Central. It does take some time to load, but I think this is fairly impressive. I zoom out, you're able to see the NVR, you're able to see the switch, you're able to see the camera that's plugged in. At this moment, we only got one fisheye plugged in, unfortunately, but still, it's awesome that you can see it from one page, from one topology. You don't have to switch between apps. If you go down to devices, it should list them all here as well, including your offline devices, which we do have a couple of, unfortunately. But that shows you your NVR, your IPCs, your EAPs, your gateways, and your switches. Everything under one simple page. Okay, next we're going to move on to Omada Guard, where things get a bit interesting. So to people who have used VMS in the past, this interface will be very familiar. Omada Guard is based on the VMS system. You can even see it in the URL at the top. So that's why it looks very similar to the old VMS software used to run. What it makes nice about this, you can easily find your devices. It's quite responsive. It'll show you the NPR is online, the fisheye is online. You click on the fisheye, you'll get a live preview. Takes a second, it looks very real, I know. Like I said, it's a fisheye. So that's looking up at our ceiling, but it has quite a large field of view, I would say. If I just move my hand a bit closer, you might be able to see it. Unfortunately, on this one. But yeah, it's an interesting little camera. You can do this with the varifocals or with any of our Insight series, and I believe the EasyCam should also be supported. As long as it has RTSP support and is from VG, it should be able to be added. One thing we forgot to mention, with PoE auto recovery, there's actually been a use case for this already. A client was using Hikvision cameras, but they didn't like the price of the Hikvision switches, and also the Hikvision switches don't offer PoE auto recovery. You can use a third-party IPC with a TP-Link switch. It still has a function to auto-recover the cameras. How you do that is also very, very simple. You go back to your Omada network. You take a look at something called IntelliRecover. Unfortunately, it's not going to show anything here because you don't have any third-party IPCs enabled. But if you had, you would just add it here. It would list your devices. See, if, as Franco mentioned, on EAPs, it becomes unresponsive. You can just add them here. Same with the third-party IPC, it will show up here. You click apply, and they're now being monitored. Meaning if those two EAPs stop receiving data for any reason, or something seems abnormal, or it's not replying to your ping in time, it will automatically get rebooted from the port. You don't have to do anything from your side, and you will get notified via the app and with your logs as well. So you'll get it through the log message here and on your phone, if you do have the Omada app installed. As you can see, it's monitoring currently, which is good news. And obviously, there's no recovery cycles because we just added it. But if there was an issue, it would start showing recovery cycles. So the more this increases, the worse the condition of the item. It might be something that needs further investigation. Or at that time, you might need to send a technician on site. So this is where it would help you in cost, cutting costs a bit on fuel, on labor, and having your technicians on the field, a bit less than usual. So please make use of this feature with all our switches. We encourage you to use it with third party. And if you decide to not use it with third party, you're welcome to buy from our VG range. We love the business. We're trying to expand everywhere we can with as more features as possible. Besides this, I think that's all from the setup side. I'm not sure if there were any questions in the chat or anything else to discuss. I'm going to hand over to Francois again. I believe we're doing a giveaway.
Yeah. So just on the question side, unfortunately, we are experiencing a bit of a delay around 20 seconds. So it'll be a bit hard for us to do a live Q&A,
Unfortunately,
which we want to do. But what we can do is, if you do leave a comment with any questions that you have, we will then make sure to get back to you guys on the comments. I think that will also help to just track more attention onto the webinar, onto the TP-Link site. So if people actually have similar questions, that might refer them to this video. So that will be quite interesting. Okay.
Okay, I'm giving the driver's seat back to Mr. Franchot.
Dennis.
Or
are you gonna
Dennis.
do the giveaway. So we're just gonna switch to.
Are we just going to switch to the correct things again?
Okay, let me just
Yeah,
get
get in
everything
the driver's
ready.
seat.
Hello everyone, I'm back.
You are back indeed, Dennis.
Okay. This and okay, I'll show everybody. Let's just see if we can get that back up. It's gonna start from the start. Oh no. It's fine.
That's fine. Let's just go through it quick.
But yeah, while we go through this, thank you everyone who has
Mhm.
joined and who actually went through the whole video. We know it was a bit a bit bad, but it is our first webinar. We are going to be doing more of this in the what's the name in the
future.
In the future, we will be obviously this get a bit better at this. Dennis just wanted us to show some of the pricing of some of the units. This is the recommended reseller pricing. So if anybody is interested in any of these units, you have availability to the pricing.
Especially the EST10 GMP, it's one of those that does automatic PoE recovery even on third-party IPCs. For that price, I'd buy 20.
Costing the next month's salary.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So Dennis, will you take away of what we're giving away?
Yes, the left QR code is to follow us. You can click in our account and follow our YouTube account. We will follow more videos on our YouTube. So maybe next time you can also join us with the open boxing videos. And on the right hand, there is a survey and a link. So you can participate in the survey to enter the lucky draw. You just need to fill in the quiz. And we will have another video that shows how we pick up 4 lucky guys to give our EAP 613.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll do a lucky draw video. By next week Friday, we will upload it, announcing the 4 lucky winners. Before that, we will actually get their by the time of the video, we will hopefully have their details already, and we will then be sending them the devices. Anything more from your side?
Everything's good. Now let's see if there are any questions here.
Please answer. We can review the chat for us.
Let's
That'd
see
be
if
lovely.
we can.
Yeah, as Franco said, thank you guys. Thank you for being trusting in TeamLink and our products. We do appreciate you attending the webinar, and we hope to have many more in the future. Be it webinars, be it training, be it product showcases, be it feature showcases. Give us time, things will improve. We will get smoother at the transitions. We are also learning with the webinar how to work through certain things.
Okay, I don't see any questions. Might be a bit delayed, but
I think maybe we can just end it here, and we can pick up a day. And you are welcome to leave your message under this webinar.
Yes, please leave a comment underneath. We'll answer it.
Yeah. Anyone, just please leave a comment so we will get to it.
Okay, guys, thank you for attending. We hope to see you at our next show, and we look forward to seeing you guys at it. I hope you have an awesome weekend.